My city don't bluff. I'm so Memphis, I'm so grizzly, don't bluff like a tiger red bird. My city don't bluff.
Drive and kick the basketball. How are you preparing your defense for that? Because you struggled with that this season.
Well, it's been right. We tried to maybe reteach and work on, some driving lines, some other things while we're. But it's again, it's about a commitment to staying in front of you guys, not getting faked out or getting out of position, off balance, reaching. Each individual player has to take it upon themselves to do that. We've had an issue with it, not just one, but every guy on the team has a tendency to get driven on. But that's happening in college basketball all over the place. And it's probably the hardest thing to do is guard somebody one-on-one in sports. Any questions?
Do you sense KJ, it's a mental thing, a physical thing? How would you describe what he's going through these past 5 or 6 games?
Well, other than, he's just been, I think, as I said before, I think fatigue, not so much game fatigue as much as this is a new venture, this is a new experience for him, playing the second semester of his college career. And it's, the intensity level was a little bit different than it was in high school. And he didn't play the 8 or 9 games last year, so he never made it the second semester, I guess. So that and with his, I think, have to guard a lot quicker athlete on the perimeter creates problems for him. And his shot selection has been the best.
Coach, how far back does your relationship go with Kelvin Sampson?
Go back to 1978, 79, 77, 78 when he was doing student teaching. But I actually played against Pembroke State where the band used to coach. So I was at High Point College. So that was back in 69, 70. I mean, he wasn't around then. He was much younger than I am. Not much, but he's younger than I am. So I really didn't know him, but I knew him when he was doing the student teaching at Upchurch Middle School in Hope. And I was the head basketball coach at Hope County, Rayford, North Carolina. So we used to get together and talk basketball then.
Do you keep up with him over the years?
Oh yeah, we've been involved quite a bit. We play golf together a lot. On the Nike trips, we play. I've seen all those things. His wife Karen and my wife are very good friends. So we've got a lot in common.
Coach, obviously you guys made an adjustment in Markel's shot, and it's paying off. But over the years, how often have you tried something like that with a player, and the player just maybe they wanted to make the change, but they just couldn't make the change? How hard is that?
Well, it wasn't really. He's got good mechanics. He had that all the time. It wasn't a problem. That wasn't an issue. It's usually something subtle. And we're not going to take all the credit. He's got to go out and work on it and do it the right way. And they all have a tendency to slip back into it. And, kids watch a lot of NBA. They watch LeBron James fall away and land on one foot, and they think they can do it. But they're not that good. So balance and technique fundamentals will beat all the fancy stuff every day. So you just have to make sure that he understands that that's what he has to do. And it takes maturity, just experience, growing up, realizing, hey, I need to do this. And I've been around a long time, and I hope they appreciate that. And that's what I wasn't a great shooter myself, but I've studied the game and the mechanics, and what a good shot. The technique is all. So he's gone in and worked. I must admit, he's put in the time, and that's why he's improving. He's getting some good looks, because people are helping him on Diedrich. We're doing a good job of moving the ball, especially in the last game. Up from the game before that, we really didn't pass the ball well at Tulsa. Now Tulsa had a lot to do with that. We just turned the ball over so many times over the last few games. So now the pressure to make a shot or take a shot gets even. There's more pressure to do that.
What can you do as a coach other than say, don't turn the ball over anymore, to work on things like that, where when you're slipping back into some habits that this team had before you got here?
Usually I take a guy out of the game for a moment. The bench is the best teacher of all. Unfortunately, I didn't believe he was right. So we've got to be careful that we don't allow, even when, and fatigue has a lot to do with it too, guys. Start throwing lazy passes, and that lots of times that comes from fatigue. Not. So we do things in practice. We haven't, as far as, we haven't done it much this year. We used to do a couple drills where we only had 3 balls, and when that's gone, when those balls are used up for all, we're going to run. So that's one of the things that's one way of getting their attention. And doing a segment of a drill where you might have a 10-minute segment, and you have 3 basketballs falls, and these balls are out of the rack. That means we're going to be playing without the basketball. So, and to make them conscious of how valuable and take care of that. And we're going to run into a team like Houston, who's one of the best in the country, and one of the best and the best scorer in Rob Gray. So we've got and that's one of the problems we've had. That's how we've lost the games we've lost. Turn it over and rebound it.
Will you use Keon Clergeau a little earlier in this game? It's just for his energy and to give some of the other guys a rest to be able to
I don't know if he's playing well. We gave him entered the game early in the game the other day, and they have 2 turnovers, air balls. So he'll have to, it's a learning process. Again, a maturity, but he just needs more time probably. He looked good. He's practiced well, so that means he will play. He will get playing time. They earned it in practice. Both he and Craig really looked good in today and yesterday's practice.
Anybody else
Shooting,
practice?
But how would you assess Markel's overall game to this point this season?
He's getting better. He's got to go to the boards more often. That's one of the things I really try to tell him. Offensive rebound. He probably just scored. He could score 40 points in that game if he got to the board. If he picked up about 2 or 3 offensive rebounds, then he had a chance to. And that's not looking for perfection. That's just telling the truth. Or if you box out, I'd like to see him average 6 to 8 rebounds a game. And I think that was one of the goals that we started the year with. And what's he averaging? 4.8. So I think he's a guy who averages. The minutes he plays, he should get 7 to 8 rebounds a game.
Coach,
So and that's what I need from him.
you mentioned
That's what the team needs from him.
You mentioned Craig Randall. How do you, approach a guy who's primarily a shooter and he hasn't shot well lately? He was so good at the beginning of the year for you guys. What do you do with a guy like that?
Well, you just try to give him chances when you get in the game. Again, I said he shot well, but he played well in practice. And I thought he shot it okay. So it's just, when you're not making shots, you need to take it to the basket. That's one thing we tell him is drive it, man. He did. He tried it, and I thought that was they called a charge on him, but it was a block. But it was one of those things that happens in the course of the game. Again, he's got to learn to go both ways. Even in that situation, he was a shot fake, and he kind of faked, and then the guy jumped to his left, and he ran right into him. When he should have gone right. So both he and Jeremiah are 2 of the guys that really just going to take time to develop that, going to his right more, and I think that will help Craig more if he would drive the ball more.
Have you addressed that offhand issue with Jeremiah?
No, we never talk about that. Yeah, man.
Coach, you got 2
The
games.
first time I saw him, I said, did Santa Claus bring you a right-handed issue? Obviously.
Never
Mark
talk.
mentioned Chris Crawford has helped him just being a kind of guy there for support over the past year as he's kind of come along. What have been your impression? It seems like Chris has been around a decent amount. What have been your impressions of their interactions?
Well, Chris seems to be a nice guy. I don't know him. He seems to be, obviously, if it's help benefiting, and Markel believes it's benefiting, it's good. But he, and Chris is an honest guy. I asked him questions. I said, what do you see the team? What do we need to work on? get him to rebound and screen coach. So he's pretty honest. So I know he's telling the facts. So I appreciate that.
Markel said earlier that you guys, your staff is pretty transparent. Sometimes, hey, this is a walkthrough kind of day. Sometimes we're going to go 100%. How have you guys kind of catered your practice plan to the roster you have this year?
Well, because we're playing so many minutes, we really have to for instance, we'll have the second group, what we call the gray team. They'll be out there most of the time, and we'll have a blue team where we'll rotate Craig and Keon, or they might be playing as many minutes. Practicing minutes. So we try to keep, like KJ today and yesterday, we were limiting the minutes he was on the court, a lot of the contact work. So we just try to monitor it that way. The same way with, Dietrich is pretty sturdy, he's pretty strong, and he's a guy. Same way with Jamario, we need to watch him. A guy like Markel, he's energized. He can probably go. He and Jeremiah have a lot of energy, so they can, and they're not dealing with a lot of nicks and bruises just the other day in practice before we played the other day, both Jamario and Dietrich, tweaked their ankle in practice. So I was really concerned about that, but they look good in the game. And, so those are things that's what we do in practice, monitor who's in on what drills, because the drills are only 2 minute long now anyway. We don't go, practices are probably an hour and 15 minutes at most, so it's not very long.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, 2 shots, that's a foul. Yeah. Let them know we finna touch down. Let them know a grizzly in town. Feeling like a tiger on the prowl. We did the Final Four, now we want more. We tryna win bowls, man, don't let them score. We tryna hang banners from the top post. We tryna win rings and a lot more. Welcome to the FedEx Forum. Welcome to Memphis where the legends live long. Welcome to Memphis where a young star born. I might call out hard to hit the Quan on them. Taking care of business, Elvis, Graceland. Cross it over, shoot it in the face, man. Home of the king, EP, BP. Somebody call the coach and tell them that we need a 3P. Somebody bring a broom, cause I think we about to swizzy. And when I'm on the field, I don't feel I just Izzy. Tiger and Bears, oh my, Grizzly. Tell them get with me, ain't no bluffing in my city. We don't bluff.